What's up, guys? This is Brock in Vegas, and I'm doing part 2 of the What is Money video presentation. In the first video, we went over the 9 properties of money, and in this video, I'm going to continue on to the 7 functions of money. So I'm going to bring up the list. Just as a quick review, I have the 9 properties of money listed here, and you can either pause the video now and review the list, or you can go back to the What is Money Part 1 video and look at the video that in part 1 that I talked about each one of these 9 properties. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the 7 functions of money and how it relates to Bitcoin. So the first one, medium of exchange of goods and services. So obviously with US dollars, you can go into a store and buy something with US dollars, and they have the price right there for you. So when you pay for the good or service, you know exactly how much that costs in the price in US dollars. And with Bitcoin, right now, for example, when I went on Expedia and I paid for a trip, and they said the trip was $200, I can pay for $200 worth of Bitcoin. However, what you would have to do is use a website like the one I'm showing on the screen, and you would have to convert US dollars to Bitcoin, and then you would take this amount, which is the quantity of Bitcoin, and you would send that amount to the merchant. So a lot of the merchants that do accept Bitcoin, what they will do is they will use a service like BitPay and some kind of payment processor which automatically converts Bitcoin and US dollars into each other interchangeably. And the other thing that they'll do usually on their website is they will list what the current value of Bitcoin is, so it will fluctuate as you go. So they will put what the quantity of Bitcoin that you owe at the moment of purchase. Now, your trip that you pay $200 for, a month from now or a year from now, that trip, instead of being $200, it could end up being $400 or $500, because you're paying a quantity of Bitcoin which in the future could increase. On the other hand, Bitcoin could decrease as well. So your $200 trip down the road a year from now might only be worth $100. And for that reason, there's a lot of businesses that when they receive Bitcoin, they will go and instantly convert it back to US dollars, because for tax purposes and understanding the value of Bitcoin, it will be really hard to recognize the Bitcoin if they still have ownership of the Bitcoin as a business in the US. So that's a really complicated subject that I won't even get into right now, but I just wanted to point that out by what's happening in the world, actually. So that is the medium of exchange. The next one says measure of value, measurement of prices. So what I just explained was kind of related to that. Unit of account. I put these all together because they're kind of related to each other. Unit of account, I've talked previously about comparing the US dollar, smallest amount is called pennies. Bitcoin has 8 decimal places. So the smallest unit of measurement for Bitcoin is a Satoshi. So unit of account is a little bit related to that. It's also related to a wallet and having a balance within Bitcoin. And Bitcoin does check off all those boxes. Standard of deferred payment, a way to settle debt, status of money as legal tender. That is also, this one here is also somewhat related when they talk about legal tender and Bitcoin being recognized by the government. So one thing I will mention here is that there are certain states in the United States that do recognize Bitcoin as legal tender or an asset. And one example of that is certain states are allowing people to make their payment of taxes in Bitcoin. So Delaware is one, I believe Wyoming is one, and there might be a few others where people that have to pay income tax or federal taxes, they can go out to a website and pay for those taxes in Bitcoin, which is pretty mind-blowing because a lot of people don't even realize that. They think that Bitcoin isn't recognized by the federal government, but you have to go to the IRS, and the IRS recognizes Bitcoin as an asset. So if anyone ever asks, is it legal? Does the government recognize it? The answer is yes. And there's more information on the IRS website. Moving on, store of value, reliably saved, and predictably usable as a medium of exchange when retrieved. So this is really important because for some people, the store of value is the main purpose of Bitcoin right now. And the reason for that is that people are recognizing that it has value and that the value is currently increasing by a lot. So certain people have understood that if the value is going up, then I don't want to spend it because I want my asset to increase in value. And if I spend it, I'm getting rid of an appreciating asset. So a lot of people use Bitcoin as a store of value. And you may hear the term hodlers, which goes back to an inside joke in Bitcoin where there was a person holding Bitcoin, but he was typing in a blog post and he kept switching the D and the L in holding, and people call that hodling as an inside joke. So you may hear me talk about hodling, which means holding on to Bitcoin. It also is an abbreviation meaning hold on for dear life, and that is relating to how much the price goes up and down like a roller coaster, in which people will say when you buy Bitcoin, hold on for dear life. The value might drop, but then it might shoot up, and it's like a roller coaster. So that's what some people say in the Bitcoin world. Next, liquidity, how easily an asset can be bought and sold. I'm also going to put off-ramps, on-ramps, which means how do you buy Bitcoin? Can you buy some Bitcoin and then sell it easily? So this is one thing that has evolved quite a bit over time. A long time ago, there weren't as many exchanges, and the exchanges that were out there were either getting hacked or they would lock up your funds. Right now, there are places like Coinbase and Gemini and Binance and a whole bunch of other ones that you can buy and sell Bitcoin fairly easy. I also use Cash App, and just as a side note on these videos, none of them sponsor me. So when I mention a way to buy Bitcoin, it's only my personal preference. It's not a sponsorship or an endorsement. I will be putting out referral links and what do they call them? Affiliate links on my website, or the Vegas Bitcoin website. So if you are interested in signing up for, let's say, Coinbase or Cash App, there's going to be a link out on the website for you to do that, and then we will both get, $5 or $10 for signing up and actually using the service. So that's just a side note. Getting back to liquidity, it's really important for an asset for you to be able to buy it and sell it. So for US dollars, it's very easily to get US dollars. Almost everybody gets a paycheck from their job and it's automatically in US dollars. I'm hoping that in the future that some companies will offer to pay their employees in Bitcoin. But right now in the United States, most everything is done in US dollars. So it's just a default that paychecks and paying your bills and everything you do is done in US dollars. My hope is that there will become a day where there will be an option for people to use other digital currencies besides US dollars to use something like Bitcoin. So that's my hope. So down at the bottom here are a couple references. These are some of the places where I got the information for this video, part 2, and also part 1 of What is Money. So I want to wrap up this video. We went a little bit over 10 minutes, but I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and I hope that the last couple videos have opened up your mind to thinking about what money is and actually having an option besides just using US dollars, and actually thinking about the history of money, the background of money, and why money has value. One of the things that confidence. So I touched on this briefly in the last video, but one really important point about money is the fact that people believe that it has money. That people believe that money has value. And they believe that, and that's why they use it. If people stop having confidence in the money system, they're less likely to use it, and the value will actually depreciate. Which, when I was first learning about Bitcoin, it's something that I kind of knew a little bit about it, but just by learning about Bitcoin, it's opened up my eyes to a lot of things, such as the belief of if a certain currency or money has value. So to me, that's a really important point to make. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you want more to be alerted for more of my content, be sure to subscribe to the video. Thanks a lot, guys.